Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Casual Coffee with Ken. My name is Ken. Thank you so much for joining me on your Monday morning. I hope it is a good one. I hope you're doing well and that the weekend has recharged your batteries as much as they can be, because I know it's a very difficult time for everybody. So, again, thank you. I appreciate you being here with me. If you are new to the show, this is a live show, and I can see your comments if you choose to comment, and I can display them on the screen here. If you do decide to comment today, please tell me where in the world you are watching from, because I'm really curious to know where my audience is located, because that's the fun part for me, is getting to meet people from all over the world, and it's great. So, again, welcome. I hope you guys had a great weekend. This is a show where I research fun, interesting, and sometimes even inspiring stories to share with you guys. And I do that to help counteract all the negative news that is out there on the local and national news broadcasts. So, and at the end of each show, I post the links in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube, and also if you're watching on Facebook, you'll see them listed there as well. So, but I hope everyone is doing well. We didn't do a whole lot this weekend. It was, what does weekend even mean anymore? For most people, there's no difference. It's either daytime or nighttime. So, but I ended up wasting a lot of time on Saturday on a new game that I found out thanks to my friends Sean and Aaron, called Wordscapes. And it's fun, but it's definitely a time waster. If you're ever in line somewhere and you just need to kill time and have it pass in the blink of an eye, Wordscapes, I'm telling you, it's better than a crossword. It's better than Sudoku. It's just awesome. So that's where 3 hours of my Saturday went. If you've been watching the show for any length of time, you'll notice that this all looks very different. I've been trying some new stuff this weekend to make this a little bit more interesting, and I'm focusing more on the fact that most of the people who watch these kinds of programs are watching them on their phones in landscape mode. So I've kind of changed the look of when I share stories so that you can actually read stuff as I'm scrolling through it. So anyway, that's a whole bunch of stuff that you probably don't care about, but it was fun for me because I like thinking about those kinds of things. Today, first thing up, tea of the day. And today's tea is, again, one from David's Tea, which is our favorite place to get tea from. And it's cardamom French toast. Now, I've mentioned this before, but maybe you're a new viewer and you didn't see those other episodes. Cardamom French toast is amazing. It's a little more expensive than it usually is right now because they are only selling it in the metal tins right now. Used to be able to just get it in a packet, but now they're only selling it in these metal tins. That usually is I can talk. It is usually an indicator that they are maybe down to the last of their stock of a certain kind of tea. So I hope that's not the case. But if it is, you should check this out sooner rather than later. It's at davidstea.com, and it really does. You can taste just a little bit of cinnamon, and for a black tea, it doesn't taste very tannic. It doesn't taste very acidic. It's got a very smooth flavor. And with a lot of black teas, it can be very easy to oversteep them. And, I'd still recommend following the steeping time instructions on this, but at the end of, this is a 5-minute tea. At the end of it, it's very palatable, very smooth, and just a very good tea. As to whether or not it tastes like French toast, I don't know that it tastes exactly like French toast, but it's really good nonetheless, so I heartily recommend it. I will put the link for this down below in the description should you wish to check it out for yourselves. So, and no, I'm not getting any money for it or anything like that. All right, so first story for today. As we know, with the pandemic, a lot of physical locations of stores have closed down because social distancing. So there's a lot of commerce happening online, which is great. However, it's tough enough usually for independent bookstores to stay open because of the juggernauts like Amazon and Barnes & Noble having a very strong, very robust online presence. And it's hard for independent bookstores to stay open. I mean, Powell's was looking like it was going to shut down forever, and they've managed to rebound a little bit thanks to a lot of online press about their predicament. Well, hello, Kim. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for being here today. I am doing okay. I'm doing fine. Thank you. I hope you're doing good too. I hope you had a really good weekend. I was just telling people about this story that has to do with booksellers, because online booksellers are really having a tough time of it. Or I'm sorry, not online. Physical independent bookstores are having a really tough time of things right now because of the social distancing. But now there's an app that can help you, if you want to, support smaller independent bookstores. And I thought this was a really cool idea, so I wanted to share with you guys. And the app is called Save Your Bookstore. And I saw this article over on fastcompany.com. And the new app is basically designed to let you quickly find local bookstores, should you be interested in supporting local bookstores around your areas. So basically this started out, before it was an app, it was just a crowdsourced spreadsheet listing local stores and ways to support each of them, and where they were located, if they had an ability to order from them online. And then the spreadsheet eventually turned into this app called Save Your Bookstore. And it's all crowdsourced. It's really cool. So it hasn't been up very long, but basically bookstores can use it, and fans of bookstores can enter details about whether a store is shipping books, if there are gift cards available that you can buy and maybe use later. If the store has any social media accounts, they can include links there. It notes here in the article that some stores also offer the option to pre-order books coming out later in the year, or just subscribe to monthly books in the mail. So right now it's predominantly stores in the UK. I'm sorry, the UK and the US. So they're hoping to eventually include all the American indie booksellers, which is a list of more than 2,500 stores. The big chain bookstores are doing really well because of the online service. Absolutely they are. Yeah, no question about that. They're killing it. So I'm really happy that there's an option here that makes it easier for people to support some of the smaller online bookstores here. So it's pretty cool. I will go ahead and place a link to the app in the description for the show after we're all done. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know, because there's quite an interest now in rediscovering reading, and not everybody wants to download books to an e-reader. I completely respect that. I get that. So this is another way that you can get printed books and support local, small, independent businesses, which is great. And I agree. I would much rather support a small independent business as well. I think a lot of people would, so that's why I wanted to do the story there for you. But let's see, next up, and this is just one that falls under heartwarming, because it is. And all right, bye, Kim. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you being here today. So I'll see you maybe tomorrow at 9:30 Pacific time. You take care, okay? So this next story here, a lot of people have started receiving their stimulus check payments. And some people are getting their tax returns too. If you have direct deposit, it definitely changes things as far as how quickly you're able to get that. But that's a whole other story for the people who are being unfortunately left behind because technology doesn't cover everybody. But this is a really, really, like I said, it's just a heartwarming story that I wanted to share with you guys about someone who shared their entire stimulus check with a steakhouse in their local area. So the general manager was telling KARK.com about the fact that their steakhouse, Colonial Steakhouse in Pine Bluff, they've had to close, obviously, and just do takeout, and they've had to reduce their staff. But there's a really nice lady who just came in and donated her entire $1,200 stimulus payment as a tip on an order, basically. And the owner of the steakhouse, Dana Gately, said that that amount was enough for every employee, even the ones who aren't currently working, that they had to lay off to get $100. So that was awesome, because they've had to cut their staff down from 12 people to 4 people, and they're only open 3 days a week now. And according to the article, they've been open for nearly 50 years. So they were really sweating how they were going to get through this time, and this was a gift that came at exactly the right time for them and for their staff. So yeah, that's just another example. So many people have just stepped up to do something to make people, feel better, to help people out during this time. And they're not always celebrities. They're not always billionaires, CEOs, owners of Fortune 500 companies. Sometimes they're just regular people who had the ability to do something and did it. They didn't let that nagging voice in the back of their head talk them out of doing something that could have a profound impact on other people. And that's good. It's good that they're doing it, and it's even better for us to hear about it, to realize that it's not all bad, that there are a lot of decent, kind, thoughtful human beings who are doing whatever they can to help each other out during this time. And it's something we need to be reminded of. It's not all just bad news. So this one was really good. I think they're all good. That's why I'm sharing them with you. But this one was particularly interesting to me. A lot of you probably know that since the onset of this outbreak and then the pandemic, there's been a shortage of a certain type of mask called an N95 mask. And those are typically used by people in the medical profession, but they haven't been able to get the supplies they need because so many people went out and panic bought huge stockpiles of these N95 masks for themselves. So the other problem is that these masks are typically just a single use, and then they have to be discarded, basically. Well, the guy who invented the N95 mask has basically come out of retirement to try to figure out a way that can effectively sanitize the masks so they can be used more than once in a medical setting. It's really important considering there's such a shortage of them as it is. So the inventor, Peter Tsai, has come out of retirement to try to find ways to disinfect these N95 masks for reuse. So he had initially retired from the University of Tennessee, according to this article on jpost.com, but he has been lending his expertise to a collective of volunteer researchers and organizations called N95Decon, and they're all just brainstorming different ways, different methods of possibly sterilizing these masks. Some using heat, some ultraviolet light. They're trying hydrogen peroxide. They're going, they're just going through the list and trying to find a way that works, that's reproducible. So that is very encouraging news. If they can figure out a way to sterilize these masks so they can be reused, it's going to help. It's going to help quite a bit because the stockpiles are diminished. And while there are various organizations working on trying to get more of the N95 masks to hospitals, it's still a mess. So I wish Peter Tsai all the luck in the world and this group. I hope that they're able to find something, and I have to believe that they will. When you have this many super sharp, super intelligent people putting their heads together to address a problem, I truly believe that there will be a solution derived for this. So I'm very excited to see what comes of all of this later. If any of you have been shopping recently, you know what a nightmare that is. If you don't have the luxury of being in an area where you can have your groceries delivered to you, you've got to go out and you've got to brave the elements. And by elements, I mean other people, which can be just a nightmare. Because unfortunately, there are still people who do not get the concept of social distancing and wearing masks. But Sam's Club is stepping up to try to help those who work very strange hours, because not everybody works, a regular 9 to 5. Well, good morning, Hodgepodge. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope your Monday's going really good. Hope your Monday is going well. And you started ordering from Kroger. Yeah, I've heard of, we don't have Kroger here, but we do have other stores that offer the delivery option. So we've been taking advantage of that as well. But a lot of people who are working, like frontline healthcare workers, have really strange shifts, and they can't always get to the stores before they close, and they can't, and when they're there, they've been dealing with you know, humanity at its worst for their entire 12, 14-hour shifts. Because when people are sick, they're not at their best. So the last thing they want is to have to deal with more people when they go out and have to go shop. So Sam's Club is stepping up and changing their hours, or rather, I guess, expanding their hours to include healthcare and first responder shopping hours. They're dedicated just to them and their employees. So starting last week, it looks like, or maybe yesterday, it might have been yesterday, from 8 o'clock to 10 a.m. on Sundays, healthcare workers and first responders can shop all to themselves, and so can Sam's Club employees. And all of the Sam's Club stores nationwide will begin these special shopping hours, and it's going to be in place until further notice. And on top of that, shoppers will also be provided with a mask in efforts to help stop the prevent the spread of coronavirus. And it's just their way of saying thanks to all of the healthcare workers who are doing such a great job right now. They're also limiting the number of customers that can be in their stores to no more than 2 people per membership. And it also has dedicated senior hours from 7 to 9 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And on those days, pharmacies, hearing aid centers, and optical centers are open during that time. And I'll post the link to the entire article for you at ibtimes.com. But yeah, it's that's fantastic. Anything we can do to make life easier for people on the front lines, for people who have been deemed essential workers, I'm in full support of. I think that's fantastic. Have to order it a few times. Oh, due to outages from Kroger. Yeah, it's never fun to run out of things. And usually, if you're going to order your groceries online or anything, it can be 2 days sometimes before you get them, maybe even longer depending on the store. But it's a mess. But there are a lot of people and there are a lot of companies who are stepping up to do everything they can to make things a little easier during this trying time. And again, I think it's important that we hear about that, and we're just not getting a lot of these stories on the local and network news. So anyway, I hope you guys like that. I hope you maybe learned something new today. And that'll bring me to the end of the show for today. So you guys have a great Monday. I hope whatever you have to do today goes smoothly for you, and that you're staying healthy out there. Do me a favor, if you liked this show, if you like the idea of a live show where you can talk to somebody in real time and get that feeling of connection that a lot of us are missing right now. After the show is over, it does stay up as a video link. Go ahead and share the link with your friends. Let them know that they have an option in the morning for a morning show that's a little more upbeat and where you can get that one-on-one conversation live. I think that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for me. That's why I do it. So, but take care, Hodgepodge. You have a great day, and take care to all of you. I will see you right back here tomorrow. It's Tuesday at 9:30 Pacific Daylight Time. Until then, I'm Ken McKim. You take care, and remember, when you can choose to be anything in life, choose to be kind to yourself and to each other, because now, more than ever, kindness matters. All right, take care, everybody. I'll talk to you later.